What's up guys, it's Bucky and welcome to your 11th Python tutorial. And in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to edit sequences. Now I don't know if I told you guys this in the last tutorial, but I'm going to be teaching you guys something new. You know, it's not important what I'm going to be teaching you, just pay attention. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you guys that sequences, unlike strings, can also be concatenated. So let's say we have two sequences right here. Let me put my cursor on so it actually works. Let's have one, just put some random numbers in there, 6, 4, 5. And you have another sequence right over there with 4, 6, 5. You can concatenate sequences just like you can do whatever else I told you to concatenate, just by using the plus sign. And go ahead and once you press enter, instead of two separate sequences, you have one long sequence, or a list in this case. And again, as I said, you can also concatenate strings, which is also kind of a sequence. Bucky plus Roberts. Let's try to concatenate that. Bucky Roberts. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. So you can concatenate list of numbers and also strings of text. But what happens if we try to concatenate a list of numbers and join it with a string of text? Well, there's only one way to find out. Say we have a list 4, 5, 6 and we want to add it to Bucky. Now once we try to concatenate that, we get an error message, and this is because you can't join something that are two different data types. It doesn't know how. It's like, how do you join this with this? I don't know how. Here's an error message, thank you. So you can't do that. You can only concatenate them or join them if they're the same type. And this is useful when you have two smaller lists and you want to join them to one bigger list. It's also useful if you want to store in a variable, so then you don't have to do that every time. But another thing I want to tell you guys how to do is how to multiply a sequence, or, well, that's pretty much it. Now say you have sequence or a string like that. Anytime you multiply this, and you're going to say, alright, how can you multiply this by this? What it does is, it doesn't really multiply it like you think in math, but it kind of does. It just takes this, whatever this is, and repeats it however many times you said multiply it by, which I guess that is truly multiplication. So as you can see, we now have 10 Buckies. And this is different than, like, say we wanted to do this with a number. Well, before you would do something like this, 21 times 10. That's not exactly what we wanted, but that's multiplication as well. If you want to repeat 21 10 times, then you have to enclose it as an element in the list. And once you times this by 10, 21, 21, there. So these are two different ways. If you tried this and got this result, or you tried this and got this result, then that is what you were doing wrong. So there's a difference between how to multiply numbers and how to multiply items in a list. One gives you an answer and another gives you an answer, just in two different ways. So take note of that. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about in this tutorial is something called membership. Now there's one little, I don't know if it's a function, but there's something in Python called in, and what in does is check if your specific value you're asking it is in a sequence, therefore the name in. So let's go ahead and make let's have variable name and set it to a string Bucky. Bucky right there. Actually, I'm getting sick of Bucky. Just roast beef. There we go. Now the value name, or the variable, has the value roast beef. So now what are we going to do with roast beef? We can check if certain characters are in roast beef by using all we have to do is this. Put the first character you want to check, then press in, and in is a built-in keyword in Python. What it's going to do is take this character and check if it's in name. So is there a Z in name? Press enter. False. Is there a R in the name roast beef? True, because here's an R right here, but it doesn't find a Z. So that is how you can check if one element is in a big sequence by using the built-in got a stuffy nose, by using the built-in think about that, built-in inward. That's kind of interesting to say. So another thing that you can do is apply this. Say you have an entire list of, well, I guess it's an entire list of just a list. So you have mom in your family, and then dad, and then bro for brother. And once you press enter right there, you now have a list created that's stored in family. In just like I search for one letter in a whole word, I can also search for one element in a list. So I can say, alright, is sis in family? Enter. No, sorry, sis is not in family. I guess she wasn't cool enough. What about is mom? Come on, keyboard. Is mom in family? True, because this element is in this sequence. So that's what in does. Check if this element is in this sequence. I can't tell you guys any more simple than that. So that is your quick tutorial on how to join sequences, and also how to check if a specific element is in a sequence. So study this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something, and don't forget to check out my next tutorial and make sure to subscribe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.